Welcome to 2026 on the Bright Balloon Podcast. We are kicking off a new season with a goal setting episode. Today, I am joined by Joette, the owner of ballooncoach.com, and we're talking about goal setting. How are you going to absolutely kill it in your business this year? Let's get started. Welcome back again, Joette. Kicking off the year, what is the number one thing that we can do as balloon decorators to set ourselves up for success going into a new fresh year?
I think the number one thing you have to do is review last year. And as creatives, sometimes we have a really hard time crunching the numbers and really looking at what happened. We may have had a large number of money in the bank, but we forget to look at what were the expenses, what went out. And so the first thing we do is we have to reflect. We look back on what we did last year. And if you have your numbers where you're even been tracking for several years, see where you're trending. Did you trend up? Did you do less jobs but make more profit? Really calculate out and look at those numbers from last year and look at the goals that you had written down and what did you achieve? What did you miss? And then it lets you hit the ground running with what your plan is for next year because you have to analyze that data from the previous year to then write your plan for the next year. And I said the word write. You actually need to write a plan down because when we write something down, we're 42% more likely to make it happen.
That's
And I think,
insane.
right?
It's insane. And
Uh,
it's true. I mean, I have felt that it's like I have these goals and like, I don't know, I just forget what they are. Like 3 months from now, I'm like, I don't even know what they were, but writing them down, it does have such a huge impact.
Yeah. I mean, so I tell people, get your planner. You have an awesome planner for people who like to have everything written down in a book, right? They can go to
Mhm.
Amazon and grab that. And then if they're in my Balloon Boss Mastermind program, we have what's called a Thrive Guide. And every first Monday of the month, we get together and we like, okay, what did we do last month? Kudos, let's celebrate. And then, okay, where do we miss the mark? Where did we hit an obstacle? What is it that we need to create a solution for? And then make an action plan because sometimes those goals of like increasing our sales by 10% or 20%, that can be scary and be like,
Right.
well, what do I need to do? And so when we can actually look together and talk about, okay, guys, every time I see something pop up online of an event going on in my area, I know I should call those people and I should offer my services to them, but then I don't. Okay,
Yeah.
so why aren't you doing that? Look at yourself and, be honest, like, hey, I have a fear of making a phone call. I have a fear of rejection. I don't like hearing the word no. And understand that that's just a part of the process, that every no gets you closer to the next yes. And you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
just learn not to take that personally. So by having a written sales goal and know what you're going after and why you're going after it, now you can put those action steps in place. And then sales, it's sales. It's not always fun. It's not always exciting. It's a repetitive thing. And so we have to just always continue marketing. We have to continue reaching out to people. And there's proven steps that help us get there. But so many times we fight and we just want the magical internet to bring everything to us. And
Yeah.
we need to put the work in to actually make that growth step happen if we're wanting growth.
Okay. So you've already said like so much in like, we're like 30 seconds in. But looking back at last year, writing down goals for next year, and then I think sales are usually a big part of that goal. Like very few of us are writing down goals to do worse than we did this year or to, lose business, right? So sales are going to be part of those goals. So let's go one at a time through those. Reflecting on last year, because I do this as part of my practice, but I didn't always, and I don't even think I knew where to start when it was like, reflect back on last year. Like, how? What are you looking at? What are those numbers you talked about? Like, I have some strategies I'm happy to share. What are some strategies in Mastermind you recommend that people do to like look back or reflect? Where are they looking?
Yeah, so you're looking back at wherever you keep your notes on your money. Is it that you
Mm,
have QuickBooks? Is it you're using 17 Hats? Do you have another customer management system? Is it that you have just put it into a spreadsheet? So one of the cool things in Mastermind, we have so many people that help out and give people advice. One is Elizabeth Fiore, which I know works with you.
yep, she's
Um,
my bookkeeper.
and she as bookkeeping, right? And so she has a spreadsheet that she gave for people to fill out that if they don't want to have any of the extra bells and whistles, just making sure that you've looked at what was all the income, the money that came into your business, and then what was all of the money that went out. And now, did you actually make a profit? Did you actually pay yourself this year? Looking at those numbers and really crunching them and not fluffing it. Like, you want to make sure you're taking out all of the expenses that you have and making sure that you actually have been bringing money in. And if you're at that building stage in your business where you're new and you're putting more, spending more money than you're making, then let's make that adjustment. How do we pay ourselves first this year? And
Yeah.
how much do we want to pay ourselves?
Yeah,
And
I
so
think
I think that's
there's even so much. You're just saying so much. It's all so
right.
good. But I think the first thing too is like, if you're listening and you're like, I don't have any of this. I don't write down any of my numbers. I would say that's a really good goal. Like,
Yeah,
start tracking because a lot of people work really hard to make no money. They don't even know that they're fully financing other people's parties because they're not even keeping track of, what they're spending. Um, or maybe you're like, this is a mess. My goal this year is going to be to get a bookkeeper. Or my goal this year is going to be to, be able to know what I paid or pay myself, right? Pay myself at all. So I think there's so much in what you maybe don't have that could be a good goal setting you up, like looking back and realizing like you don't know anything that can be a good goal going into the next year. And one of my tips too is like like a Google Calendar that holds so much information. Like I can go party by party and see like, oh yeah, what was that thing at that venue? I really want to rebook them. Or what was this thing? It was a nightmare. I don't want to do that again. Like looking at your calendar of things you did, that could be a good source of information as well.
definitely. Because as we look at the new year, we want to go back to those clients that we've worked with in the past and fill our calendar. And so many times we just expect those past clients just to give us a call. But here's the thing, the market is inundated with balloon professionals. So what happens is if you are not personally reaching out to that client, they may now have an aunt or uncle that's doing balloons. And if you don't remind them that, hey, I'm the one that's been working with you for 10 years and we want to continue to work with you, you have to step into that and feel comfortable reaching out to those past people because that's providing excellent customer service and it's going to allow you to rebook things and you then work a lot less because
Mhm.
you don't have to do all the extra marketing. You're not having to find a new person. You're cultivating those people that you've already worked with.
Yeah.
And again, this is a step that so many people are leaving money on the table and then they get frustrated that somebody else stole their account. I'm like, they didn't steal your account. You didn't take care of your account like you were
Well,
supposed to.
and I personally think it's unrealistic to expect the corporate person to remember who you are. Like I had a company come and fix our chimney like 4 days ago and they were great. I loved them. I have absolutely no idea what the name of their business is. So like 5 years from now when I need a chimney repair, I will 0% remember who they are. But if they are emailing me or they're reaching out to me, like people aren't going to remember blah 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 balloon company. Like they have no idea. They're going to Google it and whoever comes up first or they're going to leave that position. And I think for them to hand down all the information from last year's corporate party, it's like kind of unrealistic. I do think that that needs to be our job.
Yeah, especially if you are working with like colleges. There was one account, it was in our college, like I had one person who's been there forever. They've been at the college for like 30 years. But then I had this one position that was in charge of homecoming for the college. And every single year that position changed. They must have had
Yeah.
some horrible tasks they had to do because
Yeah.
every year that was a new person. So I knew at the beginning of the school year, it was my job to call whatever that phone number I was in the email, and it will say, it's been forwarded to this new person, right? And I'd be like, hi, I want to introduce myself. I know part of your position is to be in charge of homecoming for the college. And great news, I've been doing it for 10 years
Yeah.
and I'm here to help you out. When would be a good time for us to meet? And then I went to their office, met with them, and because it's a week-long festivities, and it added up to about $20,000 worth of balloons. So, it was worth my time to go. And so I went, and they were just so relieved that number one, I took the time out to offer excellent customer service. I now basically taught them their job because they didn't know any of these things beforehand.
Right.
And it ran smoothly and it allowed me to continue having that really great solid college client.
Yeah.
So yeah, we sometimes feel like we're going to be too used car salesy. I hear that all the time. Like people
Yeah.
always say in Mastermind, oh, well, Joanne, I just don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be a used car salesman. I'm like, excellent customer service is not being pushy. They're going to thank you for calling them. They're going to thank you for putting time into their calendar and making them special
Right.
rather than just acting like, oh, well, I'm this amazing balloon person, so they're just gonna call me and always go with me.
Yeah, another little touch too, and huge shout out to 17 Hats. Like I've used them. They're my CRM. It manages all my stuff. But something that's cool is like all my invoices live in that program. So I always think it's kind of impressive too to pull last year's invoice, the link, and send it to them. Be like, here's what they spent last year. And then they see their former coworker's name on there. They see the date. They kind of see the budget. It feels more legit than just being like, I do the balloons. And they're like, I don't really care. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So if you send them the invoice and they're just like, okay, just let's repeat that, I guess, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So being able to pull any like evidence or send photos, I think just makes you look super, super professional.
Totally agree.
Quick pause because if you're running a small business and you feel like your brain is holding open 1,000 tiny tabs, this is for you. One of the biggest shifts that I've made in my business and that I've seen successful decorators make over and over is moving from doing everything manually to having a real system behind the scenes. That's why 17 Hats is our exclusive YouTube sponsor for 2026. 17 Hats puts your inquiries, contracts, invoices, questionnaires, emails, and workflows all in one place so you're not chasing clients, forgetting follow ups, or reinventing the wheel every single time someone books. Instead of asking, did I send that and what comes next? Your business just works. The best part, it doesn't make your business feel more robotic. It actually frees you up to do things that you're meant to do, like be creative, work with clients, spend time with your family, and all with less stress. If you're ready to stop duct taping systems together and start operating like a real business, head to 17hats.com to check it out. Once you have a system, everything else gets easier. All right, let's jump back in. Okay, let's talk about tracking. So you reflect, you track, because this is a thing that I learned at Summit, which is your in-person event, which is coming back in
Yay!
2026. I cannot tell you how much I missed in person this year because it's in November and it's always when I set my goals for the next year. So I really felt that. But I learned from Chris Potts, and he does a lot of stuff manually. So for like 4 years, I was like, all my stuff is automated. Blah, I don't do anything manual. And he was like, no, you got to do it in a spreadsheet. Like you're going to notice things. So finally, I did it manually. I still have all my automations. I have all my digital, whatever. But I made the simplest spreadsheet ever, month by month. And I went through and I recorded every single event that could be repeatable. So like not weddings, not 50th anniversary parties, right? They're not going to have a blowout for their 51st anniversary, but like college homecomings, corporate parties, picnics, like things that could be annual. And I just went month by month and I recorded all of those events. And last year was the first year I did this. And just if I booked those events again, I realized I would hit my sales goal for the year. So for me, I
Yes.
was like, oh my gosh. So seeing like 6 events a month that I had to rebook really, really gave me the focus to go after those jobs versus being like, oh, last year in December, I did 30 jobs. I hope they all book again versus like, I just need those 3. Like those
Yes.
are the powerhouse events. So one by one, I would go down my little spreadsheet and keep track. And I think I had like a 75% rebook rate this year. And
Awesome.
I hit my sales goal in the summer. So there is something about tracking it manually. And I think when you go back and you do your reflection on last year, Chris Potts for the win. I have that manual spreadsheet, and I think you'll catch so many more events that you kind of forgot about, or like they don't reach out to you, so you reach out to them. It was so powerful this year. It made me feel so good about things when I like rebooked, and it was like, even though it feels slow, I'm good. Like I'm rebooking the events that I need to rebook, and I got some new ones along the way too. So I love to manually track things. What other tips do you have for people once they kind of reflect? What are we doing in terms of actually writing down those goals?
Yes. In Mastermind, I've made a thing for them to go through and look at your top clients. Like,
Yes.
that's the other thing when you said when you did manually, is if you look at that and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that venue was horrible. I never wanna have to walk there again because I had to go up 5 flights of stairs and it was hot and they didn't put the air conditioning on." Look at those things too, because sometimes it's not worth the money,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
as you reflect on that last year, like don't go for the repeat clients that you don't want. If there was somebody that you did enjoy working with, they didn't pay on time, all those kind of things.
Right.
Is by, like you said, going through it manually and having those notes, it helps. And then look at who are those top people that you definitely want to work with again. And then it's okay to say no to some of your clients. Like, not every client is a great client. And if it brings you too much stress, or you realize that they're just never going to want to expand their budget and you were doing too much for too little, cut those people out.
Yeah.
And then it's setting it up, and I talk about time blocking all the time. And what time blocking is, you brought up, your Google Calendar. I love my Google Calendar. I've actually planned out sessions of my day just to remind me to take a lunch break and to take time to have dinner with my family. Because if not, I'll work 24/7.
Yeah.
And so, time blocking into your calendar when you're going to call these past clients. And yes, I know we have automations and emails and all those things that go out. And if you have that system and it's working well for you, keep it up, but also remember to follow up with phone calls or text messaging if that's how the client interacts with you. Because in a world where everything is automation, and when I try to get help with any kind of tech issue, internet, whatever, I have to push 800 prompts and I'm just steaming by the time I
Ordered
get.
at Taco Bell yesterday from a robot. Like, the drive-through, it was just a fully, like, automated robot. It was the craziest thing ever, and, of course, I was like, "No, no sour cream, ah!" And then it came with the sour cream. So I think, yes, people are inundated by robots and automation, and I think they do, like, love talking to a person.
Yeah, and it just shows that you care.
Yeah,
Also, emails don't always go through. I always talk about it. Like, I have a paid service. People pay to come to Summit, people pay to be in Mastermind, and they don't get my emails all the time because now the spam filters and all of that sometimes will happen, especially when we have businesses that have the word party in it or balloon. Like, those things are sometimes hit. So don't always say, oh, well, they got the email, or you just assume that they don't want your services. People are busy, and think about how many emails you have sitting that you want to respond to and that you haven't. So I always suggest picking up the phone if you don't hear back from an email. Don't just count on that automation email and then that's, the only way you're going to follow up with somebody.
yeah,
Um, that extra personalized service and then also being able to talk to them on the phone often allows you to expand the budget.
yeah.
Sometimes we have a hard time doing that and writing in an email, but we're like, oh my gosh, I just went to this conference and I saw this amazing decor that I think would be perfect for your next event. Have you thought about this theme? Have you thought about this color scheme? Or here's this thing that we can do. Your excitement and your energy that you can't have come out in paper and pen
Yeah.
will show, on a typed computer screen. It's not going to come out your enthusiasm and how cool something is. Now, when you call them and, hey, I'm going to email you right now these photos. I think they'll work great for your event. Now they can pop up on their computer and look at it while you're talking to them. And
Yeah.
now you can seal that deal with your enthusiasm versus just hoping that maybe they opened up the email and saw something you sent.
Yeah, I always learn from, other contractors, like, people coming in, working on our house, and I just moved, like, "Oh, you're the first interview in my new space," so we're still working out the glitches.
Love it.
But I, was I we didn't have a realtor when we were looking to move, and we went to all these open houses, like, we were shopping around, and I told every single realtor, like, "I'm looking for kind of a strange situation, I wanna run a balloon shop out of my house, so there either needs to be, like, a barn or like a six-car garage or like a tall basement, like private entrance. I need something that's gonna work with balloons." And like that's a fairly specific situation, right? And I probably talked to 10 different realtors at all these open houses. And one texted me back, "Hey, it was so great to meet you. What do you think about this house? This one has a big garage. Do you think this one might work?" Like none of them were. None of them were the ones that we ended up buying, but out of all those realtors, she was the only one to even reach out with any suggestions, and we used her. Like, she got our commission because she was the only one that put in any energy. So I love that idea of proactively reaching out and be like, "Hey, this might work for your event. Hey, you know that ceiling install that we've done the same for the last 5 years? What if we did this instead?" Like, I think just showing that you're thinking about them, for me, I mean, it won me over.
Yeah, that extra step of a phone call and your enthusiasm and showing that you care, it makes 100% difference.
Yeah.
And again, I think the more that we get all this AI going on, all of the other things that are happening in the world, the more techie we get, the more we have to go back to that personal relationship with our clients because people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Mhm.
And yes, have the automations, do the things that are going to make you really efficient, but don't forget to put some personalized service in it. And if you're not great at the phone, then find somebody who is
Yeah.
and have them do the phone calls. I have many of my clients that have somebody else doing their phone calls. Like, that's okay too.
Mhm. Agreed. Agreed. Cool. Okay, so we've looked back, we've recorded our stuff, and now we're into goal setting, vision planning. Like what do you recommend and how do we get started with writing down the goals we want to accomplish?
Yeah. So a couple of things I've realized over the last I'm going into my 11th year as balloon coach, is that a lot of people have never had the opportunity to think, I can plan what I want my life to be.
Mhm.
I can make new things reality. Like, that is a new concept for people who've worked an 8 to 5 job, and their parents have worked an 8 to 5 job, and their grandparents worked an 8 to 5 job. Like, they have never been trained or experienced that you can create what you want out of the world. And I know it's a wild feeling because back in 2003, I was a burnout social worker, and I absolutely did not enjoy my job and my career. And I was excited because I started doing the event planning on the side, and I went to a chamber event. And at that chamber event, we went and did vision boards. We got out the old magazines, we cut out images, and we put things on the paper. That's how I got into being a balloon business owner. And how I became balloon coach is I put it on paper that I had this goal to do something different. And then I remember at one point, putting down paper that I wanted to earn enough money to remodel our kitchen. And then another one, to buy a van. Like, so for creative people, oftentimes going through the vision board process of being able to put things either using Canva now, I've got an editable template on Canva where you can do your vision board. You all can join me in watching past trainings that I've done on vision boards. But even if you just Google it, you'll see what a vision board is. And it's basically being able to take the things that you want out of your life, put it on paper so you see it. And now you can write goals from that. Like, okay, so if I'm wanting a new house or if I'm wanting a new vehicle, what does that cost? How many balloons do I need to sell to buy that thing?
Yeah.
And then you work backwards and you write the action steps in. So if you're needing to increase your sales, then that means you're going to do marketing and you're going to either choose to spend money online to pay for people to see about you, or you're going to spend your time and you're actually going to go to networking events and you're going to go in front of the people that you need to work with or go cold calling. People hate all of that, right? They're like, oh my gosh, that's business and I don't like it. But it's what you have to do if you want to grow your sales. And so making sure that you set those steps in place. And if you have difficulty with it, reach out to me. Go to ballooncoach.com, do a 10-minute free section with me. I'll be glad to give you some of my tips and hints to help you put those things in writing. But here's the number one thing: no matter what training you go to, no matter what mentor you have, and what books you read, it all comes down to if you don't take the action, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, as you go through this whole planning, I always talk about take action and thrive. That's actually going to be our theme for Summit this year, is that you have to put in the work. You actually have to take the action steps. You can't just hide behind your computer. You have to get out in the world and do the things that you might not enjoy doing, but the
Right.
more you do it, the better you'll get at it and you'll then see results. So, as you go through this process and you write things down, you have to put it into what they call SMART goals, having it something that's attainable, something that's measurable, and something that's reasonable. So, if you've never done a live social media post before for marketing, don't put that you're going to do that on a daily basis because it's not going to
Yeah.
happen. So, make it where you're like, okay, I'm going to do that live thing once a week, right? And then take the baby steps. And then as you get better and more comfortable with it, then you'll do it more. So, the same thing with going to networking meetings or with making those phone calls out to the people you want to work with. Set it as a reasonable goal, something that
Yeah.
you'll actually do and check it off and feel good about, and then do it again. And
Yeah.
the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So
Is
you
there
have to take the
like
action.
a golden rule of how many goals you think someone should set annually? Or do you even like
So
annual goals? Do you like that idea or do you think people should be setting like quarterly or monthly? Like what? What is your preference?
Yeah, from all the things that I've studied, they typically say, like, for a monthly thing, you should be looking at 3 max, because if you do more than that, you'll become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that you can't knock out more than things than that, but if you're focusing on more than 3 things at one time, you will just stop,
Yeah.
and it's just you'll become overwhelmed that there's too much to do.
Yeah.
And so when I look at those annual goals, what I'm typically looking at is, like, baseline, what do I have to do to make sure my electricity stays on, my mortgage is paid, and I can pay for my car, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at those base goals. It's like, hey, this is what I have to make. And then now you're wanting to purchase a new delivery van, you're wanting to move to a studio, whatever those other goals are, then you can put that on top of that. It's like, hey, this is my reach goal. This is that next step up. So that you have a range so that
Yeah.
you don't feel defeated if you're not meeting the reach goal. Like, okay,
Yeah.
at least I'm being able to keep the electricity on, like, we're good.
Right.
So giving yourself that, but yeah, I have found that usually if you have no more than 3, there you're gonna be able to accomplish it, and then, hey, when you knock those out of the ballpark, then you can increase it or you can change or add to it, but
Right.
that typically will help people not feel too overwhelmed.
Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long, but finally, like this past year, I read somewhere or I heard somewhere or like I don't know what happened, but it was like set goals that you're excited about. And I like have never done that. I'm always like, oh, this year I'm gonna exercise and I'm gonna eat healthy and I'm gonna drink more water and I'm gonna go to networking events. And like those are my least favorite things ever. Like I hate all those things. So not that I'm not going to attempt to do those, but instead of setting myself up for like absolute failure, I kind of shifted and instead set goals that I'm like really excited about accomplishing. Like one of them I'm focusing on this year is like just like CEO behavior. I read this somewhere and it was like CEO behavior. So once a month, I'm going to do something that's like kind of a badass CEO type of situation. So maybe it's get a massage, or maybe it's visit someone else's shop with a friend, or maybe it's, you know, do something that you can do because you run your own business. And I'm like, oh, that's really fun. Or another one was quarterly. I'm going to give myself like a little solo retreat. Cause like you said, if you don't schedule that time in, you're never just going to like accidentally have a day where you're going to go to a coffee shop and like dream about your business. So I've scheduled all those out. So like once quarterly, I'm going to get away and plan and like you always say, work on your business, not in your business. Like figure out what needs to happen, not be in my shop inflating balloons, because otherwise that's going to fill every single day. So I think that simple shift of like, oh, my goals are allowed to be fun and things that I'm excited to work on, not just like exercise and eat salad and blah.
Well, and I think too, when you look at those goals and you make it a fun goal, now it's okay for the action step to be something that you don't enjoy doing
Right.
because the reward is you're gonna get to go do that cool thing.
Or take your family on vacation, right? And you're just like, okay, this horrible cold call could push me over the edge to booking the flights. Like it makes it not so terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, I feel like you have so many resources to help us just do better. I mean, I think if people are listening to this interview, we've had so many ideas. I hope people are taking notes and they feel excited about the year. Um, this is kind of what Summit is. This is kind of what Mastermind is, right? Like it's conversation, it gets the juices flowing. And something I want to point out about Mastermind also is like things come from Mastermind as well. Like even though it's not a conversation happening in Mastermind, my 4 best friends I met at Summit and we talk every single day. Or like I'm in a new chat with Melissa Fox, who has the same marquee letters that I do, and she switched out the bulbs and like she's helping me navigate sending $5,000 to China for new bulbs. Like, I'm glad I don't have to navigate that alone. I get to do that with a friend. So it's internal networking and it's conversations as a group. And you kind of present us with the opportunity to do that. So give Mastermind and Summit a plug in case someone's goal this year is to get connected with other balloon people.
Yeah. So, number one, if you're wanting to be connected in a community of like minded people, whether you just started in balloons or you've been in the industry 50 years, because I have all those spectrums all the way through, is Balloon Boss Mastermind is set up where I'm meeting online weekly. And so you can pop on. Sometimes people are doing it from their delivery van. Other people are inflating balloons in the background. Other people, like while they're going to bed at night. Like it's any way that you want to listen to us, put on the headset. You're good to go. But it allows you to hear from other people the struggles they're having. And then if you've gone through that experience, you can help them overcome it. And then if you are just needing a spark of enthusiasm or just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm all alone, you can get on the call and hear, no, you're not alone. There's other people going through the same thing that you are. And so it's that weekly availability. And if you're not able to be on, some people are like, Joette, we just do you as phone a friend. We know that you're there when we need you and that we can go into the Facebook group and ask a question and get answers, or that we can come onto one of those live chats at the end and it's open Q&A for anything, no matter what the topic is. So with my mastermind program, we've been doing it since 2003, and I have interviewed some of the most amazing balloon professionals around the world. And what's cool is all of that's in there. So if there's a subject that you want, or there's a person you've heard about, you can go in and go back and listen to somebody from 10 years ago and still understand that, oh, that is a great way to build the business, or this is a cool thing that I can do, or something I don't want to do because it doesn't work.
Yes.
So it's that mix of the live trainings plus all the other things that we've had from the past. Plus we have Canva templates. So for people who are trying to do mock-ups or even actual real photos of balloons, to be able to make a car dealership flyer. So it's that collaborative effort where we work together to help our businesses grow. So it's really how to make, market, and sell more balloons. And if you are listening to this, you can go on to Sarah's link
Yep.
to join.
Yep. There'll be a link in the show notes. Just the Facebook group. I mean, there's so much knowledge there. You can search for things. And what I like about it is it's like, it's paid. It's a paid group. So the people that are in there are kind of vetted. There's all these Facebook groups and you just like don't really know if the information you're getting is accurate. But in the mastermind group, it's probably accurate. And if it's not, someone in there is going to correct it.
Tell you
It's
that it's
either
not right.
Joette or it's someone else. And the information there is good. You can trust it. So Joette, always fun to have you on. Such a supporter of the podcast. I'm obviously such a supporter of Mastermind. Where can people find you?
So ballooncoach.com is my website that gives you all the information about Balloon Boss Summit and about Mastermind. And then also, if you're totally brand new, the program that is Decor 101, which is just a piece coming out of Mastermind. And then on Instagram, Balloon Coach Joette, and on Facebook, Balloon Coach. And I'd love for you guys to follow me and hang out. And for those who have other questions about, like, is Summit the right fit for me? Or should I join the Mastermind program? On my website, on ballooncoach.com, on the homepage, it says book a free 10-minute consultation. And you just go in, schedule a time, and you and I get on Zoom and we hang out. That way I can show you behind the scenes of anything that you have questions about. Or maybe you're just stuck kind of in your business and writing your goals and you want a little extra help. I'll be glad to have that conversation with you and help you take your next step.
Well, thank you so much. Happy New Year. And I can't wait to hear what everybody's goals are in Mastermind and how we all tackle them together this year. I think it's going to be a good one.
I agree. Thank you, Sarah, and congratulations on your new space. I love how you
Thank
got the
you.
new podcast set up.
Yeah, still working on it, but this is the first peak.
Yay!
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Congratulations.